Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, today this is going to be a little bit different of a presentation. I thought what I'd do is do a review of what I was considering probably the ultimate tool for recording information on site. And this is a review of the DJI Phantom and the DJI Osmo mobile, which I'm recording on this video that's holding the cell phone right in front of me. So first, a little bit about me. I'm retired from the veterinary profession and am a homesteader, farmer, and a lot of different things related to trying to create a more sustainable educational facility here on site. And I've really been excited about improving my means of communication through videos, which I'm still at a poor level. I'd say I'm at a C- at this point, and I think someone like Casey Neistat is like an A+. And I've wanted to gradually, as I could afford it, invest in pieces of equipment to help me show the succession, the transition of property and projects that we're doing over time. So, because people ask me, well, how did you build this passive solar home? What's involved in it? What's involved in the various projects that we're doing on site? And I won't go into that information. So in 2013, and I've always been a tech enthusiast, that's another thing. But my technology enthusiasm hasn't been dealing with drones and that sort of equipment. That was beyond my realm of comfort for many years, because I never ran one of those games that people play with. I was never a gamer. And I saw drones as being predominantly either very efficient tools for advanced people, or they were for hobbyists, that consumers that could use it in the way that I thought possible. And then in 2013 I watched CES, and they came out with the AR drone 2.0, and you can take this styrofoam part off of it. I purchased this. I thought it was a reasonable price at the time. The unit flies very well. I've only flown it a few times. The quality of the camera wasn't up to speed. There's 2 cameras on it. And the main reason that I didn't use it wasn't because of the quality of the cameras necessarily. That was part of it. But the other big part of it was it took more of a learning curve for me to learn that, and I just don't have the time to invest in learning these things. So the next thing I got was that GoPro that I'm also recording with right now. It's a GoPro 3 Plus, Hero 3 Plus. And that has been a fantastic camera, but it doesn't offer the audio quality that I would like. And the batteries, I had issues with it. Now I use an additional power source that I plug into a USB, and I don't have to keep replacing batteries. I just use a USB charging system, and I can set it outside and do some recording. And the video is pretty darn good in it. It's nothing like the Hero 5, the GoPro 5 that's out right now, the black. That's something I'll mention as well. So that was the next thing, and I took that GoPro. In order to get the overhead shots, I put it on a 22-foot extension pole. But we're so windy here. Unfortunately, the wind has calmed down for this video right now. Unfortunately, the wind is so powerful that this aluminum pole would wiggle back and forth. So the quality of the images, especially any video, just wasn't any good. But I could get some decent still images. So that GoPro really did do a decent job, but it was a pain in the butt. It took time to do it. I had to be prepared, try to set it up in locations. Like, for instance, when I was building the work area in Chicken Coop, I really wanted to use that, but I got it out like twice. The batteries were dying because the batteries were getting older, and so on and so forth. Then I saw some videos. I hadn't discovered Casey Neistat, but this is last fall, and I saw people talking about on their videos the DJI Phantom 4. And man, I was just blown away by seeing what these were capable of. It seemed like this would be something I'd be able to invest very little time in a learning curve, and it potentially could deal with the high winds that we get that just come up like a son of a gun here. So I went ahead, I purchased it through Amazon, one of their secondary dealers, suppliers there, Kazam, I can't remember the name of it, but I got the case, 3 batteries, some other components, a harness that I don't use, and I got the Phantom 4. Man, I was blown away. I couldn't believe the quality of the images and all. The challenges we had were nothing to do with DJI, it was the winds that we'd have at times, so I was very careful. It's the winds and the rain. Shortly after purchasing that, because I was so impressed because I could see the drone actually moving and wiggling as the light breezes were affecting it at 200 foot in the air, I could see that, geez, the image was very, very stable. So I invested in the DJI Osmo that could take my phone and hold it. And I've been impressed with that as well. So far, I'd give the DJI Phantom 4, this is just the Phantom 4, this is before the Pro came out, or Pro Plus, or the rest of them. I'd give it an A+, based on my experience. And the same thing with this DJI Osmo Mobile, which holds your cell phone. The gimbal on this is fantastic. So far superior to the AR Drone 2.0. Then on April 27th, so I bought this end of August of 2016. I only flew it a few days because the weather that we have and the time, the amount of energy I have to do the projects around here. But I got some great footage, and I posted those videos online, some of the footage. On April 27th this year, we had a pretty decent day. I got the unit out. I did some videos up front, and I actually posted a video. I'll put it up here before the crash, and that all worked out. And I wanted to document where we're putting the gardens and what we're doing step by step with the gardens and how they're evolving throughout the season and each year. What's changing as far as to get an overview shot. And so I shot some footage up there, brought it down, it was right in front of the barn that's right over, where's the barn? That building over there. So the driveway is right in front of that building. And I'm sorry. And what I ended up doing was I got it up there, and I think it was about 127 feet in the air. And I didn't have my hands on the remote controller at all at that time, and the drone just stopped at 127 feet, fell down, hit the hard driveway. We got hard gravel driveway, and it just broke up. It broke and I've got the little stabilizer in here, broke the sets of the legs off, broke some of the arms, broke the gimbal, the camera, all of this stuff. And I was in absolute shock at this time, is I couldn't figure, and the battery was ejected. And the unit had just shut off. It didn't try to come down, it just went quiet and fell out of the sky. So I was in shock. It was very unexpected. 48 hours later, after coming out of my state of shock, I called a couple of the online places. So if you Google Phantom 4 repairs, you'll come up with a few different professional sites that deal with these crashes all the time, because people fly them into trees or whatever happens. So I contacted the first person. He says, geez, what you're describing and what happens, that might be under warranty and all. And I said, well, I just want to get the thing fixed, and if it can be under warranty, that'd be great. They said, well, we can't do any warranty work. We don't work with DJI. Unfortunately, you've got to work through them. So I called another guy, and he said the same thing. Now, this base was out in California. This guy had this company has high reviews. And he said, I don't even want to touch your drone. What you're describing, it sounds like either an internal logic board, I think he used the term logic board, I can't remember, thing, or your battery. Something shut off the power. This isn't a crash. This is loss of power and secondary crash. And I don't even want you to send it to me. You need to, unfortunately, you need to contact DJI. And I said, well, what do you mean, unfortunately? Well, this is, well, a lot of people have trouble with going through DJI and all, and that's all I want to say about it. So I said, okay. So I contacted DJI. First reach out was okay. They told me to go to the website, download the form. I filled out the form, gave detailed description, uploaded the information that was kept on the remote controller here. There's a memory of the data of actually what's happening with the controls, what you're touching and all. And it was pretty clear. It reassured me that I hadn't done anything, that the unit had failed. I wrote detailed information about the battery. The battery appeared to be dead. It showed a charge of 50% charge at the time of the crash, but it had no indication of any power whatsoever. So I spoke with the people at DJI, went through the process, submitted everything, and they said they were sending me a shipping label. That's when the problems really began. And I could go on with all the details for the whole process because I make recordings of all these. I've spent over 40 hours on the phone speaking with them, over 24 phone calls to various different DJI customer service or technicians, 3 different supervisors, 1 senior supervisor. I don't know that there's a difference between the two, over the last couple of months. Now, I did get the drone back. That came back a little over a week ago. Everything's very slow through their whole process. And it appears to be repaired. But I could see they didn't send me the battery, which they promised that they would send me the battery, the replacement. They told me not to send them the old one. I gave them detailed information, did everything they asked me to do at the times. I shot video of the stuff, submitted that to them and all. I couldn't get the shipping label sent to me until I spoke with a supervisor. I had only one person at DJI who was disrespectful and insulting and hung up. You know, I was polite and courteous, but told them, geez, my patience are running out. What's the story? And this wasn't waiting for the unit to be repaired. This was, the battery didn't show up, or I never got a shipping label. Let's work through this. The 3 supervisors were all professional and courteous, and most of the support staff were professional and courteous, and they all assured me of things, but they never followed through with the things. I mean, the latest was, you know, when they sent back the unit. Now, the remote control was in perfect condition. There's parts missing from it. It was this is the same unit. They didn't send me a different one, same serial number, but I think the unit was abused during the time that it was there. It's certainly missing parts. And then speaking with the last supervisor, a senior supervisor, he assured me that I said, geez, he now gave me approval to send the battery back, which they didn't want in the first place. Because I didn't get the battery back, this doesn't have parts in it, and I wanted a shipping label. And we had over a week waiting the first time for the shipping label. Now, this is over a week ago that I contacted him. He assured me that he would follow up with a phone call. Same as was done with other people. There was one DJI supervisor that did follow up with a phone call a little over a month ago. I expressed, this is what's happening. I have the names, the dates, the times, how long I was on the phone with each person. And the long story short is, you know, they just don't care. They're inept. It's not to say that the people aren't doing what they're told. It's a problem in their system. You know, from what the supervisors told me as well, and I got this verified by the second supervisor, their shipping label is a separate department on a different floor in this building. And just to get the shipping label, they have to send email notification to them for them to send out the shipping label, and I never received them until one supervisor took it upon himself to go get the shipping label and put it in one of the emails, because I'd say, let's test the email. I sent them an email, they bounced it back and forth. I'd get the email each time, but never got a shipping label from them. The only one I ever got a shipping label from was one of the supervisors. But once I got over 40 hours being online with these folks, that's when I said, enough's enough. This is beyond anything reasonable whatsoever. So despite this DJI Osmo and it's all of the components that I bought for it being an excellent piece of equipment. This Phantom 4 being a phenomenal and I'd say easy to use in my circumstances unit, and being I'd say a relatively advanced state of technology. All of those things considered, it takes the A plus down to an F, because if they don't give a damn about their customers, and you have to talk with over 24 people, and you don't get an appropriate response after that, or they just say, you know what, that's unreasonable, Mr. Wallace. I think what you're asking is for something that we're just not willing to do. They tell you that they're going to do it and not do it. So unfortunately, although I believe that this is at my consumer level use of drones that are there, I'm sure there's much better ones out there. DJI has come out with some more advanced ones. I don't see me ever recommending using another DJI product. Today I just went ahead and ordered the GoPro Karma. It's got the gimbal. It's got the GoPro 5 black camera that comes with it, which is improved from my Hero 3 that I've got. I think it's called the Hero 3 Plus. These have worked very well. Now, I've never had a problem where I've had to contact the company, and they may be just as bad. But this has been such a dismal experience that I thought I'd share this in case, I don't want to rant and do a big emotional yelling at this company. This company certainly has people that are quite capable of either doing the research and development themselves. They certainly give these units away to for review and actually give them as gifts to people like Casey Neistat and all. And I think that that's fantastic, and that's really good PR. But if you don't give a darn about your average customers like me, average or whatever you want to call it, just someone who's not planning on buying a whole bunch of these units, then I'd say that merits an F from me. So I really can't recommend any DJI products because they aren't going to stand behind their products. They aren't going to tell you honestly what to expect. You're getting a lot of fluff. The equipment is fantastic as long as it works, and if you're a gambler and you want to take that chance, that's okay. But I'm going to vote with my dollar. I'm going to support those companies that may not be of the same caliber, but if they're dependable and somebody that I can work with, you've got my commitment for life. Well, that's my review of the DJI Phantom 4 and basically the customer service or technical support, that part of their company. So sorry that I had to give this sort of a review. This really sucks, talking about how badly it is. The reviews I'm going to be giving in the future, there's a whole variety of tools that I use here on site that I think have been absolutely fantastic. And those reviews will be coming in the future. So thanks so much for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and just be forewarned before you make a purchase for one of those DJI products. Hopefully you'll have better luck if you have an incident. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.